Hello friends, today we are going to learn how to create a FC and a FB. Before creating FC and FB, I would like to distinguish between what is the difference between FC and a FB. FB stands for function block and FC stands for function call. The two blocks actually play the same role, but only thing is in function block I do have an instance DB which can be the same FC, which helps the instance DB helps the function block to be used for number of vaults and controllers, and the instance DB addresses can be used to address the particular valve or a modem. But in case of a function call, we need to provide a separate DB or separate memory addresses to the fields. Now let's have how actually we can do it. We will click on add new block. Here we have function block as well as function call. First of all, we will create a function. For example, I will name it as so I have given it a name as motor on. We will write a very simple logic in this FC to make a motor on. Now see, we have name, input, output, in out, temp, constant and motor written. So in input we can provide the inputs which you want outside the FC. You have outputs which you want to create for that FC. In out, the parameters which you want to use as input as well as output you need to create over here. Temp, if you want to store some value you can use temp variable here. Okay, now let's do add a constant value. Okay, let's start with a very basic explanation of how you can create just a on off logic for a motor and add a interlock bit to it. We can add adder, subtractor or any other logic as well in the same. Okay, we will do it here. Let's start. For time being, we will keep this temp as constant, or we will use it as it is. Okay, we can change the FC a number of times. Okay, now I have created a NO contact, a NC contact and a coil. For me, the feedback I am going to use is of normally closed type. Okay, now I will name it as start or you can just drag and drop the addresses or the names which you have written here. No need of typing it. Okay, now we will also add a small comparator in this system. So we have created a logic that is if start input is pressed and the feedback is healthy and the motor set speed is greater than the motor actual speed, the motor will be on. Just to make you aware of how the temp variable can be used, I have used temp1. Else you can directly connect this motor on here as well. You just save this, go in main OB, click on the network and just drag and drop the motor on FC. See the change? Yes. So all the parameters which you have used in the motor FC are available here. And the temp is not available. Yes. So the temp variables are used only for the internal purpose. Now there is no instance DB. So I have to create the addresses or the variables for this inputs and this output. Now let's start. I'm just creating a real tag and giving it the name as actual speed. So created a feedback and going to rename it as give the output as Q0.1. If you want, you can give any other name or address to this motor. Just save, compile. Now motor on, that is access, has not been compiled. Why? Because I have not compiled the FC. Yes. Now I have compiled FC and there are 0 errors, 0 warnings. If you could see, now the motor FC is ready. Now we will create the same logic, but only thing we will be using a FB block for this. Here you have one more, that is static and temp. So static is they will be remaining as fixed. Go in main OB and just drag and drop. See, it has called the motor DB. So you have an enable, you have start and put your motor on. The block will not run because you have added some static device. Static, that means it will remain constant for that DB. So we will not be using this, else your logic will not run once you download it in your system. No need of using static. See, now the block will appear red. Just click on this. Then do it is not taking because this DB is having the structure of this. So I will just delete it. And now center. Yes, all empty DB. Then provide the input. If you want, you can take this as well. Say dot. So you can access via this, but for this it is not possible. Again, So we have created a FC and a FP. The change is that we have an instance data block for the FB and there is no instance data block, that is, so there is no internal storage for this FC which is available with FB, and the FBs can have their addresses like this one. We can assign a DB and use as DB for all. If I say this as motor 1, all it will be remaining the same. See, once I change it to MTR01, all the tags change to MTR01. Okay, so if I make a structure tag of this, I can configure this addresses, or no need, you can directly access this db10 dot something. Okay, if you want to do that, see, it is optimized block access is on, so we can't access it like this. You have to access it using this only. If you want to create the actual tags, you can create, that is, you can add a db xyz to this and you can write it the FC as well as FB. Okay, so this was all about FC and FB. See, a function block is a subroutine that is executed when called from another code. The calling block passes parameters to the FP and also identifies a specific data block that stores the data. That is, the instance data block stores the data for a specific call. That means if MTR1 is called, it will be storing the values of motor 1. If MTR2, that is motor 2, is called, it will directly show up the motor 2 parameters only. For example, one FB can control several pumps or valves with different instance DBs containing the specific operational parameters. Vice versa, a function call or FC is a subroutine that is executed when called from another code. The FC does not have an associated instance DB. The calling block passes parameters to the FC. That is, the block which is called will pass the parameter to the FC and the output valves from the FC must be returned to the memory address or the global DB. That means we have to use a global address or global DB or memory address to that FC. This was all about the structure of a user program, that is OB. You are always familiar. So in this video I tried to explain you how to create a FB, how to create a FC, how to access the FB and FC in your logic. Okay, thanks for watching.